Welcome to Legal Corporation's instructional video for changing the three-stage detector on the Pegasus HRT Plus system. This video will walk you through the proper method of venting the system and through the process of replacing the three-stage detector. Some or all of these tools may be needed to replace the detector. Power down the high voltage by clicking on the HV power button in the lower right corner of the ChromaTOF software. Completely vent the analyzer through the vacuum page of diagnostics. This process will take a few minutes. Power off the electronics power by flipping the breaker switch on the side of the HRT. Close the ChromaTOF software. Slide the top lid back on the HRT to expose the top of the analyzer and the detector flange. Remove the detector bias, detector in, and the detector out cables from the back side of the detector flange. Remove 2 of the 4 screws opposite each other from the detector flange and install guide pins to allow the flange to be lifted straight up and away from the analyzer. Use compressed air or canned air to blow away any dust from around the detector flange. This is to help prevent small particles from falling inside the analyzer when we lift the detector flange away from the analyzer. Unscrew the 2 remaining hex screws and then remove the detector flange by lifting straight up using the guide pins and set the detector flange off to the side. Use a lint-free cloth to cover the opening to prevent dust or hair from settling inside the analyzer. You may also use a piece of folded paper or a blank flange to cover the opening. Remove the new detector from its sealed packaging. Confirm that the serial number on the actual detector matches what's on the box. Wear protective gloves. Remove the old detector from the flange. Always hold the detector by the edges. Install the new detector. Be extremely careful not to touch the face of the detector. Use the 4" pounds torque wrench to snug the 5/16 SMA connector. Inspect the detector. Make sure all of the connections are secure. Clean the detector flange O-ring. Make sure it's seated in the flange groove. Carefully install the detector and flange back into the analyzer with the use of the guide pins. Install 2 hex screws to hold the flange in place. Remove the guide pins and install the other 2 hex screws. Tighten all of the hex screws in an opposite manner to ensure it's compressing the O-ring flat. Attach the detector out cable and secure it using the 8 inch-pounds torque wrench. Attach the detector in and the detector bias cables. Turn the electronics power switch back to the on position. Open the ChromaTOF software. The software will need to re-establish communication to all components. Enter the service level of diagnostics and go to the power supply page. Click the Maintenance Tasks link and reset the detector. This will reset the stored detector voltage back to its minimum value. Evacuate the analyzer through the vacuum page of diagnostics. Occasionally, while waiting for the roughing pump to evacuate the analyzer chamber, the software may time out and the process will have to be started again. It'll take at least a day for the vacuum to get down to the levels that are appropriate for powering up the high voltages, and every detector should be under vacuum for 24 hours before powering on. After the vacuum gets below 5.0 times 10 to the negative 7 millibar, do an electrostatic cleaning. Power up the high voltage. Make sure the transfer line and source heaters are turned on. Make sure that the detector bias is set back to its minimum value of 1700 volts. Perform a gain optimization. The gain optimization will set the detector bias to a value that meets the minimum response. After the initial gain optimization, the instrument should go through a complete optimization. This video is intended to provide a step-by-step walkthrough of the process of replacing the detector on a LICO Pegasus HRT Plus mass spectrometer. For additional information, please consult the menu, visit the LICO website at www.lico or call the LICO helpline at 888-LICO 911.